Hello and welcome to the Random Wrestling Review. And we have something very different, a special episode for you today. In fact, Old Man and Alex join me today. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
All good, baby.
Nice, that's very nice. Jovial and pally and I don't know, all kinds of stuff there. What I was going to say is that Alex and Old Man have no idea what this episode is about. And thankfully,
No.
well, at least
I
they are thankful that they don't have to contribute too much. I have told them that much. Now, you may remember back in February or March, can't remember which one it was now, I presented the result of my statistical analysis on the top 100 wrestlers of all time. Well, I decided that we would do something very similar, but this time make it a little bit more relevant to most of the shows that we cover on this show. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 100 best WWE wrestlers ever.
Oh, lovely.
So, yeah, we're going to go through the top 100 wrestlers now, very much like the previous episode that we did that was similar to this. It's all about statistical analysis. It's all about creating a model that will objectively determine the greatest WWE wrestler of all time, using a number of key principles, including all wrestlers being measured against their contemporaries as opposed to being measured against, someone from 40 years later on. The model should be based on wrestlers' body of work, not direct opinions about them. Therefore, the model will be based on match quality, and longevity should be rewarded. Consistency and depth of great work should also be rewarded. But I should say that the statistics run all the way up to the end of 2023, so nothing from this year has been taken into account as part of this. Also then, we have got methodology. So again, as per the last one we did, I've used CageMatch.net's average rating as an indicator of match quality. This is the average rating that a match has been given out of 10 by members of CageMatch.net. For a match to be eligible for inclusion in the model, it must be at least 5 minutes in length, have been rated at least 5 times on CageMatch, and have an average rating of at least 6. For context, as at the end of 2023, there were 4,471 matches in history that fell into this category, and while all of those were eligible for inclusion, only 2,523 qualified as per the method explained on the next slide. Only the best 100 matches in WWE of any given year are included. The top 100 matches per year are determined by their average rating on Cage Match. Each match is allocated points based on their rank for a given year. 100 points to the best match of the year, 99 to the second best, and all the way down to 1 point for the 100th best. Each participant in the match is then allocated an equal number of points from that match based on the number of participants in it. So, for example, for a singles match, the score is divided by 2. For a tag team match, the score is divided by 4, etc., etc., etc.
Can we guess who number 100 is?
Yeah, I'll, why don't you have a go at that? When you have a go at that, I guess now.
I'll go Ahmed Johnson.
Cool. Yeah, Alex?
I'll go.
The game title's not on the line here, Alex, so you don't have to worry too much.
Right. I'll go Bart Gunn.
Lovely. I think you're both going to be just missing out, but that's some good shouts there, guys. Just also to say that the model does disadvantage wrestlers whose career peaked all or in part before 1990, and the further you go back, the greater this disadvantage increases. Down years for WWE are not taken into account. So this is more a pronounced issue for this model when only looking at one promotion. So, for example, what I'm saying here is if the overall quality of the promotion was really bad in a given year, there's no way to account for it because you're only dealing with that one promotion. So, if you're doing all the promotions in the world, then the quality tends to stay at a reasonably high level. But there are some years in WWE where the quality was so bad that you've got matches that get a lot of points without being particularly good, but just the way it is. Okay, so number 100 on the list is Velveteen Dream, 318.133 points from 14 matches. So I should say also this includes NXT matches, of course. Trying to stay clear of commenting on Velveteen Dream, I can see. In front of both of you.
Yes. Well, we did our NXT TakeOver 25, was it, in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
When Velveteen Dream had the exceptional match with Ricochet.
Yeah.
So you could get all of our, mine, Tom and Tinky's comments in the archives.
Lovely stuff.
Lovely.
99 is Damian Priest from 24 matches, 324 points. Damian Priest. This is pre-World Heavyweight title reign as well, so potentially a big climber next year. Who knows? Yeah,
because he's had quite a big year, hasn't he? Quite a big year, big year quality-wise as well, I think.
Yeah, there've been some highlights for him.
Yeah.
98 is Andrade. Match of the year. He's involved in the match of the year from 2018. 355 points. Matches 13 for Andrade. 97 is Roddy Piper, 359.183 points from 15 matches. Looking very serious in the picture we've got on the slide right now. Then it's 96, Shinsuke Nakamura, Only 22 matches, 362.771. Not particularly high for someone who's considered one of the best wrestlers of all time. Well, I say that. He was in the top 100 wrestlers of all time, much higher than this when it wasn't just about WWE.
I suppose it's tough for Tom's firstborn to have had that many matches.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah, that is tough. That's tough on them.
95, Ken Shamrock, 380.7 points, matches 12. Alex not happy about that, I can see.
Yeah, I mean, I love that guy. I mentioned it before. He should have been pushed a lot higher than he was. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of his position, you got to remember he was only in the company for 3 years, if that. So, didn't stand much of a chance. 94 is MVP, or 94th MVP, not the MVP.
Hey.
380 points from 29 matches. Next up, we have the Dynamite Kid. So only 15 matches counted for him in the analysis, 381.2 points. But yeah, I mean, Dynamite Kid had much better matches elsewhere in the world and didn't perform that well in WWE.
No, he was kind of broken by that point, wasn't he?
He was a bit, yeah, was a bit. 92 is Chad Gable. So again, this is pre-2024. So he's sort of one of the newer people in the countdown. 385.833 matches, 28 for him.
And he should be high. He should be higher than that. And it's that Shorty G gimmick. He was just used as a bit of a squash, really, and not really given a bit of a push. And I think that's affected him here.
And it's taken, if you think about it, for WWE, it's taken Triple H about a year and a half to get him to a point where he's been happy enough to use him in a way that's a bit more serious. Like, he was still largely a massive comedy character for a year and a half under Triple H. So that's how long it's taken to rehabilitate him. But you would think, again, he would be higher in the order if I do this again next year. 91 is Jimmy Uso, 388.642 points, 37 matches. Lower than his brother. I will spoiler for you there.
Oh.
How much lower, Sam? Have a guess.
Oh, good.
Jimmy's on 91.
So I'm going to say that Jay Uso is 67.
74.
Whoa.
67 and 74. All right. Well, Ted DiBiase's at number 90, 401.783 points, 15 matches, match of the year from 1988. 89, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, 409.683 matches, points, 22 matches. Not 409.683 matches. That wouldn't make sense. Yeah, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, 89.
I mean,
we should do a video just so we can see, so the viewers can see that picture. That's incredible.
It's a lovely picture, isn't it? I mean, all those points are pretty much from the Hart Foundation matches. So.
Yeah, I was going to say this points to Bret being very, very high, as you'd expect.
Number 88 is Bayley, 413.833 points from 21 matches, and she was in the 2015 Match of the Year, which was with Sasha.
So that kind of really, obviously we reviewed that show, but 2015, Bayley has been around a long time, hasn't she?
Yeah, all those women have, all the four horsewomen have.
Fair bloody play to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. They've now had a full body of work from their career. Yeah. They've not been perhaps used. I still think they've been a little underused, but they've actually had full careers. They've had multiple stories, feuds, multiple kind of gimmick changes, important matches, main event matches, WrestleMania matches. They've done it all now. So.
Yeah.
87, Bruno Sammartino, talking of legends, 418.75 points from 9 matches. Now, I think, just spoiler alert, I am recalculating the statistics for the top 100 wrestlers of all time again in time for next year. And already I'm noticing that there are many more matches from earlier in time than there were the previous year, and when I did the analysis the previous year. So I wouldn't be shocked if Bruno doesn't also climb next time, because there are more matches that are being reviewed by Bruno, that involve Bruno Sammartino. But anyway, it's 87th at the moment.
So I've never seen a Sammartino match, and I feel like it's my life's work never to.
I quite like Bruno Sammartino, but I will be quite honest with you. You are not missing anything. Like, his matches are the definition of kick and punch, and I think it's worth watching just to see how the crowd respond to him more than anything else.
Well, because we watched, was it a Saturday night's main event where his son wrestles, and he's wearing that incredible sweater. It was
WrestleMania 1, I expect.
Yeah, I think it was actually, yeah. But yeah, like the pop is, when he gets involved towards the end, it's incredible. Wonderful.
Sixth is Finley, 429.439 points from 27 matches.
Fucking hell.
Pixelated that one, I'm afraid. I don't know what happened there.
It's okay. I mean, he's very slim there, isn't he? He's in good shape.
Not bad. 85th, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, 430.105 points from 13 matches. He was in the Match of the Year of 1986 and 1987.
That's lovely.
84, Bray Wyatt, 436.1045 points from 30 matches.
I mean, God rest his soul, but that is extraordinary considering some of the absolute tripe that he served up, isn't it? Obviously, they had that wonderful run of matches, and they obviously met on a collision course as well, but when they were having 6-person tag matches as the Wyatt family, and like they should all get about 1 million points for the Shield match that they had, because wonderful.
Unfortunately, it's not possible. They would have got 1/6 of 100 points, even if it was number one of the year. But there you go.
Well, that's true. Come on, England.
83 is Tajiri, 442.667 points from 25 matches. Funny looking picture, that one.
Yeah. Go on, Taji. It looks superimposed, doesn't it?
It looks very weird. It's quite scary.
Yeah,
it does.
It's a bit sexy, though. Oh, speaking of.
82, 5-time WCW World Champion Booker T, 443.9 points from 40 matches. And 81 is Shane McMahon, 444.783 points from 20 matches.
You know what, though? It's really hard to argue with, because in the early 2000s, he had a few that I think when it became his thing to do the big spot, it kind of got a bit tiring. I think that's why I, in particular, really dislike him now. But some of those early matches that he was in were absolutely incredible. Like, the stuff that he was doing to his body, and also the people he was doing it with. So, like, he elevated Steve Blackman to a proper level when Steve Blackman had no personality by virtue of the match that they had.
I'm not surprised to see him in it. I mean, I don't like him, and I don't like his recent performances, but I liked him in the Attitude Era. Thought he was really good in the Attitude Era for what he was, Vince McMahon's son, Vince McMahon's knobhead son. You know what I mean? He played the part fantastically because that's what he is. And the matches that he had were good.
That's what I was going to say, is that when he was wrestling as the cowardly Vince McMahon's son, and story-wise they made it into something that worked, and then when he stood up to his own father and had the match with his father, all that stuff, perfectly legitimate, that's fine. It's when he's in his like mid to late 50s or mid to late 40s, I don't know which one, but whatever it was, mid to late 40s, mid to late 50s, still not looking like a wrestler, but being portrayed as some kind of superhuman, that I have the problem with Shane McMahon. And to be honest, that goes all the way back to sort of, well, we saw it at Backlash 2009. So, yeah. Number 80 is JD McDonough. So he's doing pretty well for someone who's only been on the main roster for a little bit. Of course, this does include NXT and NXT UK matches, I should add. 450.917 points from 17 matches.
So I know that you went through the pitfalls of the system, but I love that JD McDonough is that far ahead of Bruno.
Yeah. It does highlight the issue with the dates, but it's simply because less matches have been seen and have been rated from the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I say, though, as time goes on, more of those matches are being watched and reviewed, so it might balance out a little bit. 79, Alistair Black, 453.517 points from 19 matches.
We always liked him.
Yeah.
And then he came into the main roster, and he had a real duff match with Lars Sullivan that really made me realise that actually perhaps he isn't all that. And then when he got into the main roster, it was just fucking terrible, wasn't it?
But he was just set up to fail because he was brought up to the main roster as a tag team, and he is not a tag team. Yeah. Like he should be on his own. Or, you know, at least
he is not a tag team. You're right. He is not a tag team.
He's not a tag team wrestler. He's you know, or if he is, it should be some sort of faction.
I mean, I wouldn't say that AEW have used him much better, but I do think they're right to make him the head of a faction. That makes a lot more sense to me than bringing him up as a tag team, because he's one person, so it's definitely not a tag team. Next up, 78, William Regal, 467.97 points from 28 matches. Or Willie. And then 77 is Kurt Hennig, 489.7 points from 15 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 1990, a Match of the Year 1991 and 1993.
A Match of the Year in 1993.
I'm not sure if that was with Bret or with Shawn. It was with one of them, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it might have been with Ric Flair, actually. Might have been with Ric Flair from Raw. Can't remember. I'll look it up in a minute.
Yeah.
Is it not the King of the Ring? What was the King of the Ring match with Bret Hart? Was that 93?
Yeah, but yeah. I think this might have been the Flair match from Raw, beginning of the year.
Oh, okay.
76, Diesel, 490.242 points from 18 matches. I mean, it's ridiculous. How is Diesel ahead of Kurt Hennig? Someone tell me what's going on there.
Well, quite honestly, and this is not a criticism at all, how the is Diesel anywhere near this list?
Well, yeah, he was lucky enough to have matches with Shawn Michaels. That's
absolutely.
That's why he's in the list. 75, Bob Backlund, 497.583 from 13 matches. I think also another person who will benefit if I do this again next year, because he looks like he's got a lot more points in recent months. 74, Roderick Strong, 499.458 from 32 matches. I feel like he just kind of rid the wave of the rest of the Disputed Era and picked up a load of points from that. 73, Buddy Murphy, 506 points from 22 matches. I mean, I can barely remember him, so I don't know how he did that. But to be honest, his big years, as far as I can remember, are in the years when I was not watching. So from 2017 to 2020.
Well, 'cause he was in the Blake and Murphy tag team, wasn't he? Which, that was kind of like a little golden period of tag wrestling in NXT. So I'm guessing it's from that, because I can't even remember seeing them ever wrestle, to be honest.
Does the 205 Live stuff count?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he was 205 champion for quite some time.
Anything under the WWE banner counts towards this. 72, Jack Swagger, 509.498 points from 35 matches.
He looks happy, doesn't he?
He's 72nd best wrestler of WWE of all time. I mean, that's a major honor, that, mate. 71, Asuka, 530.417 points, matches 25. There's rumors recently that she's been released by WWE.
Okay. Oh, what shame.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I'm glad for her, because she's been used all right, but she keeps getting injured as well, doesn't she? I think she's done a knee a couple of times in the last couple of years, so maybe her body's just kind of done with it. She's been wrestling for 20 years.
Quite a long time.
Yeah, come on, have a break, Asuka. Enjoy it.
Number 70 is Jey Uso. So who got it?
I said 67. What did you say?
You said 67, I was 74, so you by one.
Oh, that was close. That was close.
Well done.
531.992 points from 44 matches. Very nice.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think he's very good. So there's that.
Well, there's that. Old man said it. He doesn't think he's very good.
That's it. It's out there now, mate.
I mean, there's a funny thing, isn't there? I think I genuinely believe perspectives changed an awful lot on that Jay and Jimmy match from WrestleMania. It does feel like lots of people's opinion changed on Jey Uso as a consequence of that match, which was really, really very poor.
Yeah.
Number 69, JBL, 539.15 points from 37 matches. I think what you see here is that there's a trend. As long as you're in the main event for a sustained period of time, you'll do all right. 68 is Ricochet, 556.971 points from 27 matches.
Well, I suppose the good thing is that being 68 is not the end of the world. I'm not explaining that. You're gonna have to get back.
It's the Bowie song.
To a previous episode, yeah.
67 is Chavo Guerrero Jr., 564.825 points from 36 matches. I don't know how many.
Tom's best mate.
Yeah, Tom's best mate,
yeah.
67. Yeah, I haven't artificially bumped him up the list either as a consequence of that. 66 is A-Kid, or I think he's also known as Axiom, possibly, in NXT. He's had... Nor did I before I did this, but he has had a load, apparently, of very, very good matches in NXT over the last 3 or 4 years. Probably also NXT UK, from what I remember. 566 points.
I mean, I've got my finger on the pulse, so I think if it had happened, I would know about it.
Possibly, yeah.
Obviously, for the listener, that's sarcasm. I don't pay any attention to anything.
Ever. In any walk of life.
No.
65th is Matt Riddle, 573 points from 37 matches, and I should imagine that's as far as he'll go. Fourth, Kyle O'Reilly, 601.125 points from 32 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 2020. Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, that was the COVID year, so a strange one, that.
Yeah, that was his character, wasn't it? COVID O'Reilly.
COVID O'Reilly. 63 is Neville. 615.519 points from 27 matches, Match of the Year in 2014, and that picture looks crazy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if you did this again next year, a lot of these will probably drop out, won't they, if they're in AEW, or at least obviously drop down.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, yes, probably with Neville, because but not by a long way, I wouldn't think. Okay. Because you've got to remember, this still takes into account basically every single year is at least from like 1962 or 3 right the way to 2023. Okay. So that's 60 years as it is now. So 1 year is not going to change it that much. It will change it a little bit. 62, Alberto Del Rio, 628.542 points, 31 matches. Look, it's the statistics. It's not my fault. There's a load of crooks and pervs in this list.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's just more seeing his face.
Yeah. 61. Music, here he is, the current top dog in WWE, Cody Rhodes at 61, 649.87 points, 46 matches. And again, this is someone who will, I'm sure, climb the list a little bit as a consequence of his 2024. But before that, only 61st of all time. And that's not a short career either. He'd been in WWE many years.
Yeah, but that's why he's 61st, because when he was in before, he was just not a jobber, but didn't win many matches with Legacy, and then with Goldust as well in that tag team, the Stardust. Yeah.
Number 60 is Becky Lynch, 655.333, 28 matches. 9, Razor Ramon, 663.8 points, 21 matches, and he was in the match of the year from 1995. That was with Shawn Michaels in the ladder match from SummerSlam.
Of course, he is the Intercontinental Championship.
He is the Intercontinental Championship.
He is, yeah.
And for a reference to that, go back and listen to Bracket Mania 1.
Go on, Razor. God rest his soul.
58, Greg the Hammer Valentine, 665.267 points, 20 matches, wrestler and match of the year from 1985. I think we're enjoying the picture.
It looks like he's just got out of bed and they've said, Greg, we got to do a photo shoot. So he's gone, come here. No, it's okay, It's okay.
Incredible.
Well, I think, if I'm honest, if you're listening to this in the audio version, then I would definitely recommend the video if we do make the video, because you need to see the picture. 57, Marty Jannetty, 725.583 points, 29 matches, match of the year in 1989, and wrestler of the year. Wrestler of the year, 1993. I mean, look, 1993 was a bit of a rough year, fair to say. Think about who the main event of the pay-per-views was Yokozuna pretty much all year. So, that wasn't going to yield huge amounts of points. Yeah, wrestler of the year 1993, Marty Jannetty. Fifth, Cole, 744.875 points, matches 33, rest of the year 2019. Any thoughts on Adam Cole, Alex?
I quite like Adam Cole. I don't think Tom particularly likes him. Don't like the Adam Cole baby stuff. I quite like it. In terms of a thing to get the crowd going. I know I get it if he's a heel, and I might be being a bit contradictory to myself there, but I like Adam Cole. That's some cracking matches, especially in NXT.
I think the bigger problem for me with Adam Cole is not necessarily the baby thing. It is the fact that he wrestles with no specific character trait whatsoever. And I have a big issue with this. And Adam Cole is one of the wrestlers that really typifies this for me. The most obvious example of this I can give is The Undertaker, right? From the 90s, the early 90s. He wrestled in a specific way to suit that character. Adam Cole wrestles like a good wrestler. That's not a character.
Yeah,
and I just find that really uninteresting. And that's why I'm not that big a fan of his matches, all of his big matches with Johnny Gargano and, all that lot. Because it's like, well, yeah, but you're all wrestling exactly the same. Like you're not bringing anything unique to this thing. And he goes into matches now with other wrestlers from AEW that are the same as well. They're all wrestling. They're all like, their character is they're good wrestlers. I just don't find that interesting or inspiring.
Yeah, I could only go off his NXT stuff because I used to watch NXT before it became NXT Colour or whatever it were called. And he reminded me a little bit with his character, a bit like Triple H, how he was obsessed with any belts that he had. So if they had the tag team titles, he was obsessed with keeping them. And called the North Atlantic Championship, the NXT Championship. It was like this obsession with whatever belts that he had. But I'm clutching at straws, I suppose, for what character he is. I get what you're saying.
So next up, 55, Tito Santana. 768.767 points, 22 matches, match of the year 1985.
Arriba! That's all I've got to say.
That's all I've got to say about Tito. We've lost old man for the moment, but we'll plough on till he gets back. 54, Tyler Bate, 769.933 points from 31 matches, match of the year twice, 2017 and 2019. So this is another thing, shows how long Tyler Bate's been around. Like, he has been around now in WWE for 8 years. That was when the UK tournament happened, was in 2016. And that's why I'm kind of like, I feel like it's one of those people that I feel like it's past. The chance of him being something significant is past because he's just been around such a long time.
He's quite serviceable where he is at the minute, though, with Pete Dunne.
Is he still with him, though? Because Pete Dunne's turned heel, hasn't he, and gone after Sheamus?
Yeah. In fact, is he injured? I think
Possibly.
He's injured Tyler Bate, isn't he? I think that's why he's gone solo. I think he's injured.
Yeah, that's probably what's happened. 53, Tommaso Ciampa, 810.1 points, 37 matches, match of the year 2016.
I mean, from my NXT days, I loved Ciampa and Gargano. I loved the feud, the matches that they had. Every single one, so invested in them. Thought they were fantastic. Came up to the main roster with a bit of a whimper, but I like how they're back with DIY now, and Triple H is taking them seriously. I think that they'll probably do the split at some point, but hopefully it's not for some time, because I think they're good as a tag team.
They may do the split, but I do think that Triple H, I've said this before, he's got to be careful about not just retreading stuff he did in NXT. And if they do the split, there's a real danger that's what they do. And I do feel like, even though he's reintroduced Ciampa and Gargano and Tyler Bate, and he's brought Pete Dunne back to being Pete Dunne, and he's a couple of other guys that he had in NXT that he kind of liked have kind of seen an upturn in their position. I think he has, to this point, been carefully avoiding doing too much with that group of wrestlers, because he doesn't want to just retread what he did in NXT.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
52, Shelton Benjamin, 867.873 points from 62 matches. 51 is Hulk Hogan, 875.917 points, 27 matches. Rest of the year from 1989, match of the year 1990.
Thought he'd be higher than that, so I'm quite happy that he's in the bottom half.
Bottom half. I mean, he's not in the bottom half. He's just in the bottom half of the top 100. There's a heck of a lot of wrestlers that were below the number 100 position, but it doesn't make the top 50, so that's pretty good. Number 50 is Kofi Kingston, which Matt will be delighted with. 888.263 points from 65 matches, so a lot of matches. So he's not had loads of great matches, but he's not had many great matches, but he had lots of pretty decent matches, I think is the way I would look at that.
Yeah.
49 is Charlotte Flair, 895 points from 43 matches. What a strange picture that is.
That's not Charlotte Flair.
It's really odd, isn't it?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I couldn't find a good one. 48 is X-Pac, 924.65 points from 36 matches. So pretty decent for X-Pac, I think.
Yeah, I love X-Pac. I was listening to the Bracket Mania that you did with regards to the mid-card Attitude Era stars, and he got pulled with, I think he was drawn against Sable in the first round and went out. I was gutted. I love X-Pac. I think he's one of the most underrated wrestlers there's ever been.
No longer, Alex, because he's 48th in this list.
Yeah, that's true. I'm happy with that. Dead happy with that. And better than Hogan.
There you go. 47, Sasha Banks. 962.583 points, 37 matches, match of the year in 2015, and I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, the number one woman in WWE history as a consequence of this.
All right, okay.
She's above she's above Becky Lynch and Charlotte, who are the two closest to her, I think. There are nobody else that have had consistently big matches in WWE, and I still think that's underrepresentative of where all those women should be, actually, but there's still time for some of them. I mean, it's very possible Sasha Banks will be passed by Becky, I guess, at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Possibly not Charlotte. I don't know what's going on there, but she doesn't seem to be wrestling.
I think she's still injured as well.
Number 46 is Gunther, 967.308 points, 35 matches. Match of the year, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. Prolific is the only word you can use for Gunther. I mean, we saw earlier in the year when we did the top 100 wrestlers of all time, which included every promotion, Gunther was really high in that as well, and had loads of massive matches. As Old Man returns, we're at 46, Old Man. Probably can't hear me because he hasn't got his headphones on yet. He's just coming into the room. Yes, Gunther's at 46. It's been a prolific few years for him.
Yeah, I've spoke about it in loads. Bracket Mania, Intercontinental Championship Bracket Mania, WrestleMania 40 Night 2, WrestleMania 39 Night 2, 40 Night 1. I love Gunther. He's brilliant. That don't surprise me. 5 in a row, match of the year. Don't surprise me at all.
So Rockstar there already predicting that he's going to have an amazing match at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah. He is.
He's called it early.
He's already World Heavyweight Champion. He may be champion going into that. Could we be seeing Gunther versus Cody, or Gunther versus CM Punk, or Roman Reigns? Goodness knows, it could be anyone who he wrestles. But certainly he's set up now as World Heavyweight Champion to add many more points to this tally, and he's already number 46. He's got a good chance of being one of the top of all time.
So I think that it will be Gunther CM Punk main event of night 1. That's what I think. When Gunther won it, I was like, oh, I can see that. And they've kept them very apart in everything. I can see something happening maybe at the Rumble where there's a little stare down or a little altercation. Oh, lovely.
So number 45 then is Davey Boy Smith, 981.175 points from 42 matches. Match of the year in 1992, as you might imagine.
I take it he got most of these points from his latter run in the early 2000s.
Yes, definitely.
Obviously, I had to step away for a little bit. What have I missed? Val Venus?
You've not missed Val Venus, don't worry, mate.
Thank God for that.
I don't think we're going to see him at all, but you haven't missed him, that's for certain.
Oh, that's good. That's good. As long as I haven't missed him.
44 is The Big Show.
Oh, wow.
985.375 points from 68 matches. Look, there's no accounting for who he faced. I don't know where he got these points from. I'll be perfectly honest. Right now, I can't even imagine where he got these points from. But he did, and he's 44th. I mean, look, I guess this is just a case of someone who's been around for a long old time.
Yeah, but still, 68 matches that
counted.
Yeah, 6 stars. Well, 6 out of 10 and above. Christ.
Hard to imagine.
There's some stupid people out there, aren't there?
43, Ilya Dragunov, 995.2 points, 31 matches, rest of the year 2023, match of the year 2020 and 2021. So they were with Gunther, of course. And this guy, his NXT run was, what's the word? Lit? Is that the word?
Yeah, I think so.
But so far, not seen huge amounts from him on the main roster.
I got to be honest, because there's obviously a lot behind him, a lot of steam. Still quite young as well, isn't he? Like in the pantheon of wrestling, I quite like what they're doing with him on the main roster because he seems to be consistently involved, but he's not picking up victories. I kind of like it because I can see it just constantly visible. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he'll get released and I'll look stupid.
But don't worry, because Tony Khan will sign him for lots of money, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, and then he'll refuse to lose.
I rarely watch wrestling live now, and I've got a list on my phone in my notes of matches that I need to catch up on and watch, and I haven't seen those matches with Gunther, the 2020 and 21 ones, and they're on my list to watch because apparently they are sensational. Well, match of the year, so they're on my list. Have you any of you two seen them?
No.
42 is Pete Dunne. 1,000.088 points from 46 matches, and he was in Match of the Year 2017 with Tyler Bate.
Pete Dunne, again, 2017. I can remember watching the NXT UK tournament. So I went to watch, I'll tell you what I did. We were a full breakdown of the day. I went to watch Lazarus, the David Bowie musical, with my 2 sisters, one of my sisters now husbands, and my cousin. And I then met a friend of the show, 40, afterwards. And we watched some of it around his house. And I was on the coach on the way back, and we'd missed the last little bit of the show, and he messaged me, and he was like, it's great old school wrestling. And that's what this guy is, isn't he? He's like a really, just the way that he works is a real throwback style, but fair play to him. He's found a way to make it work in a way that I think Tyler Bate hasn't been able to. I know Tyler Bate has had a lot of injuries as well behind him, but yeah, I love a bit of Pete Dunne.
Tyler Bate's just a little bit smaller as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
41. Dean Ambrose, 1,018.274 points from 57 matches.
Sorry, mate. I sicked up a bit then. I mean, I can hear Tommy screaming from here, from the future, whenever this comes out.
Again, the Shield matches, and then the matches against the Shield people.
Yeah.
And then, the fact that he was in the main event permanently for sort of 5 years.
Yeah.
Going to get you enough points. Number 40 is The Miz, 1,036.539 points, 63 matches. So again, lots of matches, probably not many great ones, but lots of matches that have counted.
Yeah, and those matches would have been 6. Like most of them would have been probably 6. You know what I mean? I mean, again, he's completely serviceable mid card. That's what he's been, mid card Miz, but he's fantastic.
I'll tell you what, if there wasn't the 5-minute thing, he would be way higher, I think. Because he is like, God rest his soul, he's like Gary Speed. Just a solid 6, 7 out of 10 every week in, week out. Doesn't really ever let you down. And that's the Miz in wrestling form, I think. Where people are like, you know what, that was all right, that. I'll give that a 6. That's fine.
I don't think he would be higher if the 5-minute thing did counted, because I think those matches wouldn't get rated very high, and probably not many of them would go over 6 out of 10. So I don't think it would make much of a difference. But all the same, for him to be number 40, he's done a pretty good damn job.
I just consulted my records. Apparently, he's had 409 matches that were 4 minutes and 59 seconds, and they were all 6. So there you go, mate.
Number 39 is Finn Balor, 1,049.451 points, matches 58.
Another one.
Do.
But yeah, just like never going to be the best match of the night, but all right, all right. Yeah.
Consistently average, and never in bad matches. Ultimately, just never in very good ones. But he's done all right for himself in WWE. 39th best wrestler of all time in WWE. Can't argue with that.
No, you can't. Well, you could, but
I'm not gonna.
No.
8. Drew McIntyre, 1,056.3 points, 58 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 2021, Match of the Year in 2023. So if anything, he's getting better as he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think in addition to him being a better wrestler in the last 4 or 5 years, he's now seemingly a better character wrestler than he's ever been in his career.
Yeah.
You've got to give him credit. I think he's done great work.
Yeah.
I think if he hadn't have turned heel, I think he would have been gone from the company. His heel work is tremendous, and in character all the time, which is obviously an added bonus. His stuff on Twitter is unreal.
So we are August the 19th as we record this. So since the night after the Rumble, like, he has just been, everything he's done has just been like must watch. And I can't remember the last time a wrestler had that, where everything they got involved with was significantly elevated by them being involved. And obviously, Tinky, you said he's a lovely guy.
He is a lovely, lovely guy. Like I say it, loads and loads of time. Absolutely great guy. So I'm really pleased for him. And I think, look, the like you said, everything's must watch, and that's partially because his character is just really great. It's spot on, and I think it's spot on because he's dislikable, but also you understand why he's annoyed. So there's this double thing. It's not like sometimes when you can understand why they are like they are, they kind of almost become likable because of it, but there's no sympathy with him. There is no sympathy. He's still this horrible guy, but you understand it. It's great. It's really good.
Just before we move away from Drew McIntyre, like, obviously we spoke about it, you and Stephen Tinky, on the WrestleMania 40 Night 2 review. That whole segment with the match and then the afters, phenomenal.
I loved it.
Like, absolutely phenomenal pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Number 37 is Batista, 1,090.1 points, 65 matches. It's not bad.
No, I think to Alex's point on an episode that we did together, I think as time has worn on, I think it's been kinder to Big Dave.
Yeah, very possibly. I think, again, though, he's somebody who's just had years and years of main event matches, which kind of almost gives them a automatic pass straight through to this level. 36, Matt Hardy, 1,095.767 points from 78 matches, Match of the Year 99 and 2001.
That picture. Oh, yeah!
So, he's the first of Hardys, and any of the others.
There's going to be another one.
Maybe. I don't know. I genuinely did this so long ago, I can't remember.
Is Mike Hardy in it?
Mike Hardy.
Unfortunately not. No. Just missed out. 103 he was. 35 is John Morrison, 1,151.826 points from 64 matches. Alex has got a bad taste in his mouth from that. I can see it in his face.
It's just weird because he's higher up than the Miz. It's weird. It's obviously right. It's obviously right. And
but it's like you said.
When they come up, it just baffles, doesn't it?
It's like you said. Like, the Miz has been in lots and lots of average matches. Effectively, some of them have made it into the list. Even if they're 6, they don't necessarily get into the list. They still have to be in the top 100 of that year. So some of them made it into the list, but some of them haven't. John Morrison probably in 2007, 2008, when he was facing Jeff Hardy, for example, those kinds of matches, probably did very well out of that. 34, Ric Flair, 1,188.708 points from 50 matches, Wrestler of the Year 1991. He wasn't even in the company for half of it. So he obviously had a great run through that early 91, 92 in the first month of 93. But let's be clear, obviously the vast majority of his career was not in the WWF when he was at his peak. So
I think
still,
he's done all right there, Rick. And
I
I
think
think,
so.
knowing Rick as I do, I think this will be right. I mean, let's be honest, he's the kind of guy who'd be boasting about this.
Yeah, I was 34th best wrestler of all time in the WWE.
Well, pissed up in a takeaway somewhere.
Absolutely. I'll have a corn and chips. Rick, you've already ordered. I'll have another one. Woo! Start chopping the bloody chips.
Start cutting himself. And then crying and sweating.
He bleeds with one of those chip forks.
33 is Sami Zayn, 1,189.921 from 52 matches, a match of the year in 2014. Another one, been around forever now when you think about it.
Yeah.
He's someone who I've grown a fondness for as the years have gone on, definitely.
And I think there's still more points for him to come this year as well. So see him moving up again. 32, Kane. Yes, I'm sorry. Kane is there. 1,206.346 points from 90 matches. So loads and loads of matches.
Match of the year 2012, my ass.
So that will be probably either a match with the Shield alongside Daniel Bryan or some kind of elimination chamber, I expect.
I was going to say, mate. Are you looking it up, Alex?
I don't want to. It'll make me sick.
Ah, cool.
31, Randy Savage. 1,230.08 points from 35 matches. Rest of the year in 86, 87 and 88, and also match of the year those same years.
Funny one, Savage, because I watched some of his stuff and I think, he's a bit overrated. And then I watched some of his stuff and I'm like, Jesus, this guy's incredible.
Well, the thing is, he's a classic case of it's very difficult to judge on a curve when you are talking about somebody who was a big star nearly 40 years ago now. Like it's really difficult to judge that against, say, even like Roman Reigns, for example, or Cody, someone who's big now. And I think that's the point of this, is to try and judge them against their peers so that they're not unfairly being compared to someone who had 40 years worth of additional stuff that other people had tried to then draw from. So 30 is Brock Lesnar. 1,231.742 points, 50 matches, match of the year in 2013.
2013? Was that the Punk?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
match.
Probably would have been number one if he'd have had any kind of a long-term full-time career.
Yeah. Look at those shoulders. Jesus Christ.
I mean, if he'd have been, just imagine what his career would have been like if he hadn't had any desire to go to NFL or indeed to work MMA. He'd have had from 2002 probably till about at least 2015 as the top man in the business. And he probably would have had a load more matches with Angle, and probably had matches with Punk and Bryan and bad.
It's one of those, though. In many ways, I'm glad that he didn't, because that Punk match is so fucking beautiful.
Yeah, but who knows how good the matches that they didn't have might have been.
Oh, Tinky.
29 is Johnny Gargano, 1,247.1 points from 50 matches. Rest of the year in 2016 and 2018. Match of the year in 2018. Matt will be. I think you think Matt will be happy with that.
I think he'll be okay with it.
Fine.
Because I think Matt
should be happy with that.
Yeah, I think Matt's realistic as well, and he's a good man.
28. AJ Styles, 1,318.067 points from 65 matches, a wrestler of the year in 2016 and 2017. So he came in and was pretty damn hot for those first 2 years.
Yeah, that trio of matches he had with Roman Reigns very early were exceptional, like really, really good. But I mean, I suppose because the rating's 6, he's probably done all right the last couple of years. But you could give up if you want, Alan.
The ones that he had with Cena were quality as well.
Yeah, fair.
The few that he had with Cena, the matches were quality. No, I'd give up looking for it.
Alex, I was going to ask you, obviously we haven't seen Chris Jericho yet, your favourite. Any predictions on where you think he might end up?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I've written it down at the start and I put 21. Chris Jericho 21.
Wow. Any advance on that, old man?
He will be, because he's had so many, I think he will be number 8.
Ooh. I don't know when it is. I can't remember. So I said I made this a while ago. 27 is Kevin Owens, 1,366.205 points from 71 matches. Matt will be unhappy with that because he hates Kevin Owens.
I'm a big fan of Kevin Owens, but I think the kind of end is near with him a little bit, because there's not much he can really do now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they do with him now. Well, I think it's quite apt that Owen Hart is just one place above Kevin Owens. 1,374.342 points from 45 matches. Match of the year 1994.
The SummerSlam one.
No, come on.
No, when was that?
WrestleMania 10. Come on, mate.
Yeah, but I thought match of the year was the Razor Ramon.
No, that was 95, mate. That was 95.
Oh, was it? Right. Okay. Sorry.
It's a SummerSlam level match.
Right. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. That's understandable. That match is better. The Owen Hart Bret Hart one. It's just when you said that earlier, I just kind of assumed, it's that ladder match, but it's a SummerSlam one, isn't it? The ladder match.
Yeah. 25. Sheamus, 1,394.952 points from 76 matches, and he was in the match of the year in 2022 and 2023. So another one, been around for ages, but as having a purple patch of their career towards the end of it.
And he's gone back to that shit gimmick.
Yeah. But, maybe they'll do something with it. I mean, I think the Pete Dunne thing has the potential to be quite interesting for them both.
Yeah.
24, Rob Van Dam, 1,402.805 points from 77 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 2006, which of course was his big year as ECW champion. 23, Cesaro, 1,446.233 points, 71 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 2014.
That's high. That's high.
Yeah, he was very, very good for a very long time. But he just didn't have his career or his position in the roster just didn't reflect how good he was.
Oh, probably a lot of them are probably from when he was in the Bar, because I think that's his best period when he was with the Bar, because they didn't rate him that highly, did they? When he was everyone else did, apart from the top brass at WWE, and then they put him with a tag team with Sheamus, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be atrocious, and it was absolutely quality. Talk about giving two people something when they're not doing anything, and then running with it and making it their own. Thought the Bar were fantastic.
22, Roman Reigns, 1,506.9 points, matches 83. So another person.
Young he is.
Yeah, there's another person who will, I'm sure, get more points in the coming years, but perhaps his schedule is going to be limited.
Well, you got to think. So if he has 6 matches a year, they're all going to be 6 or more. I think his ceiling will be 14, I reckon.
A very exciting ceiling.
Yeah.
21, Dolph Ziggler, Alex. 1,571.883 points from 79 matches. I think, again, volume. Mm-hmm. Volume is Dolph's friend here.
I'm happy with that. Well, I know Tom's not a fan. I know Matt's not a fan. I am a fan of Dolph Ziggler. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was absolutely fantastic in WWE, and he should have been pushed a lot higher than he was in my eyes. But I'm happy with that. It's good position for him.
Number 20 then is Eddie Guerrero, 1,660.533 points from 76 matches. We're at the deep end now, guys. We are at the big end now. It's getting big. And Eddie Guerrero, who knows? I mean, he had a strange career, really, because it was obviously short because of his premature death, but also it was very varied. So he's only in WWE for 5 years, 6 years, something like that, maybe less. He was in WWE for sort of 4 or 5 years, did a bit in ECW, AAA, kind of fractured in some ways, that career.
But I think with that is, with his matches, I mean, he was that good. They all would have been over 6 stars, You'll have people like Dolph Ziggler where they'll have some stinkers. Eddie Guerrero didn't have any stinkers. Very rare. I can't think of any.
Well, you didn't see his World War III match in 1997 with Rey Mysterio Jr. Flipping awful.
WWE though.
Yeah. Number 19 is Jeff Hardy, 1,816.985 points from 98 matches, and he was in the match of the year 99 and 2001.
A funny one, old Jeff. He's someone who I watch his stuff now, and I'm like, you really weren't very good. But at the time, I was like, I like Jeff.
I think what Jeff brought, and I'm quite a fan of Jeff, and I like anyone who brings something very, very different. And I think Jeff did bring that. I think in his look, and I think in terms of his style, I think he had a high flyer style that was quite messy, which was different, very different to Eddie Guerrero, for example, we've just seen, or Rey Mysterio Jr. Like, he had a very different style about him. And I think had he not been kind of somebody who was prone to fall out of interest with it, which he was, then he could be even higher on this list, because he didn't work in WWE for a few years after about 2002 or 2003, then went again in sort of 2009 for a few years, and sort of if he'd have especially then when he was, as I've said a few times recently, one of the most popular people in the roster, possibly the most popular wrestler in the world actually in 2009. He could very well have been much higher on this list.
I have never got it with him, ever. Never really got the Hardy Boys, and I never got him. I always preferred Matt to him, and I've got a real issue with people that don't learn from the mistakes and put other people's lives at risk for their own choices. No, I've never got it with him, so not a fan at all.
On that note, we'll move on. Number 18 is Christian, 1,841.93 points, 95 matches, and again, he was in the match of the year of 1999 and 2001 as well.
His match with Swagger must have been included. Must have been.
Very possibly.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll tell you, the best work that he's done is his feud with Randy Orton in like the SummerSlam in Capital Cardiff. Can't remember what year it was, because that was when the product was absolutely. But that feud was fantastic, and I'm not a Randy Orton guy, but
their match at SummerSlam is phenomenal.
It's really
absolutely
good.
Phenomenal.
Number 17 then is Mick Foley, 1,908.817 points, 61 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 98, Match of the Year 96, 98, and 2000. 96 was with Shawn Michaels, 98 The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell, 2000 Triple H in Hell in a Cell. No, I think it was the Royal Rumble match actually.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine working the style that Mick Foley does, and you not only win Match of the Year 3 times, but you also win Wrestler of the Year as well. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is worth saying that this is why I made that point in the introduction, that there are down years, and 98 and 99 were definitely down years in terms of in-ring action. Like we've talked about before, great television, not a good year to watch their pay-per-views.
Yeah. Well, in that case, fuck you, Mick.
16, CM Punk, 1,963.823 points from 76 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 2012, Match of the Year in 2011 and 2013. 15 is Steve Austin, 2,142.35 points from 74 matches. Match of the Year in 1997. He is brought down by the fact that his career wasn't that long. Unfortunately, 96 to 2003. Like not nothing, but not anything compared to some of the wrestlers who are on this list.
Well, you also add within that probably 2 years away through injury and stropping.
Yeah.
So
number 14, Daniel Bryan, 2,145.88 points, 85 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 2013, Match of the Year in 2012. So I'm pretty sure that 2012 year is a Team Hell No and someone against the Shield, or possibly just Team Hell No against someone.
Yeah, it will be, won't it? Yeah. I'll tell you what it'll be. It'll be the it is the Shield, isn't it? And who did they team up with? It was supposed to be. Was it not with Ryback?
Possibly.
Some sort of
might have been.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
That one then.
Good shout. Good shout.
Number 13. Seth Rollins, 2,359.693 points, 122 matches. We're really talking about volume now. Wrestler of the Year in 2022, Match of the Year in 2012.
I mean, that's some longevity, that, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Crikey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Seth Rollins, really, but he's been a very solid hand for a very long time, who has, I would say, been a headliner during, I would say, one of WWE's worst periods. And probably his reputation suffers a little because of it. And the fact that he's still performing at a reasonable level in 2024 at the top end of the card, pretty impressive.
He's like a slightly longer pushed Finn Balor, I think.
I think there's something to that he's probably the same sort of quality in terms of in the ring, possibly better. Well, I would say definitely better as a kind of character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably the difference between them.
I think he's like a main event Miz, where he's got the style, the WWE style, off to a T, and every kind of experiment that they do, they'll use, they can use him for it. And to be fair to him, he has, I mean, all right, maybe it's a bit too many times, one too many times, but he has tried, reinvented his character quite a bit. I like Seth Rollins, but I get why people don't like him, but I do quite like him.
I think if you took all the people that had been kind of top level stars in Ring of Honor and you lined them up against one another, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, all those people, and you kind of said that Seth Rollins would be the highest on this list of that group when they were in Ring of Honor together, I think, people would have scoffed at that quite significantly. Number 12 is The Rock, 2,388.909 86 matches, Wrestler of the Year in 1999. His big years were 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and then pretty much nothing else. So, again, very short amount of time, but he is one of the most underrated in-ring wrestlers in the world, in my view. Like, in terms of his peak. When he was at his peak, he was sensational. His conditioning, his cardio was absolutely phenomenal. Could go at, like, hell for leather for 20 minutes. Easy. And on top of that was obviously super popular, which meant that every single match he had, people were into. Like, it's hard to argue with his quality.
And the best talker that has ever, in my eyes, that's ever been, which obviously helps with his popularity, which helps with his matches and stuff.
Number 11, the last person not to make the top 10 is Bret Hart. 2,913.345 points from 84 matches. Wrestler of the Year, 92, 94, 95, and 97. Match of the Year, 91, 92, 93, 94, 97. There's a reason why people of my generation love Bret Hart. Just look at the match of the year there. He's pretty much the only one who was working anything at the time. And I think I said this before when we did the top 100 wrestlers of all time. Bret suffers because of who his opponents were, as opposed to that he wasn't good enough. I think if he'd had, the similar quality of wrestlers that Seth Rollins had faced, he'd be number one, or right at the top anyway.
I heard a rumor the other day that Bret Hart doesn't like Bill Goldberg.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate.
Yeah.
Where are you hearing that from?
I don't know. He's mentioned it a couple of times.
I heard another rumor that he's never hurt a fellow professional wrestler.
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody heck.
Anyway, Bret Hart at number 11. So outside of the top 10, the top 10 to come. I put this in as well. These are people outside the top 100 that I thought were notable. So Val Venus, 264, mate. 264th of all time.
Yeah.
So you've got Io Sky, Big E,
D'Lo Brown. Oh.
Bam Bam Bigelow, Sergeant Slaughter, Jake Roberts, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Mark Henry, Goldust, Ultimate Warrior, Vince McMahon, Jeff Jarrett, Trish Stratus, Rick Martel, Rick Rude, Billy Gunn, Carlito, Mike Rotunda, Sid, R-Truth, Shayna Baszler, Ryback, Natalia, Ken Patera, Yokozuna, Val Venus, and D'Lo Brown. Notable people outside the top 100, I thought they were. And I guess a couple of them might get in. So Io Sky, possibly, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley.
Ken?
No, I don't think he's going to make it, mate.
And what's noticeable there, no Ahmed Johnson and no Bart Gunn.
No.
Still in the running, guys. Still in the running.
Yeah. How high is my boy?
Number 10 is Randy Orton, 3,046.502 points from 156 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 2011. That was the year he had the feud with Christian, interestingly enough. So, number 9. I can feel the tension. Alex is quite excited. Yeah. Number 9.
I am excited. I am.
Number 9 is The Undertaker. 3,096.067 points from 116 matches. Match of the Year in 98, 2009, 2010. You think of him, you think of longevity, but his later years, possibly as many as 10 years, he only wrestled a handful of matches each year. But anyway.
Yeah, incredible, really.
Number 8, Chris Benoit. Well, I said the statistics are there. 3,101.308 points, 135 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 2004, and Match of the Year 2002, 2003, and 2004. Well, as I said, it's the statistics. Can't do anything about it. Number 7, Rey Mysterio Jr. 3,123.022 points from 141 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 2009 and 2010. Match of the Year 2002. And I would say that those years are not particularly strong years for Rey Mysterio either, but it just shows how bad WWE was at the time.
Good old Raymond.
Number 6, Kurt Angle, 3,203.275 points from 128 matches. Wrestler of the Year 2001, 2002, 2003, 2005. Match of the Year 2002, 2003, 2005. Could be number 1 if he hadn't gone to TNA. Could easily be number 1 if he hadn't gone to TNA. Yeah. Probably would easily be number 1 if he hadn't gone to TNA. Because that is all in, 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah.
Madness. Number 5, Edge, 3,484.17 points from 159 matches. Match of the Year 99, 2001, 2002, and 2006. Alex is on the edge of his seat now.
Yes,
honest to God. I thought with 21 I were being a bit generous, but I can't. I mean, there's going to be, obviously my boy, Cena, Michaels, and I can't think.
Triple H.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course, it could be the greatest swerve, and Jericho's not even in the top 100, of course. But,
Oh, that'd be amazing.
No, don't say that. Then.
Number 4 is Chris Jericho. 3,549.856 points from 166 matches. Wrestler and Match of the Year 2008.
I'll tell you now, if anyone is mentioning this, it's Chris Jericho. He will find out.
Hey, he made the list.
Yeah. He will find out and he'll be banging on about it on his podcast, hopefully, so that people come over, have a little listen.
Well, I mean, I'll take that. So, I said 21. I love that guy in terms of he's. Look, I've said it before. I was hooked from that vignette, and I've just been hooked since. Fantastic.
Triple H, 3,808.339 points from 165 matches. Wrestler of the Year 2000, of course. Match of the Year 2000 and 2004. So that's Triple H. We've got 2 people left. We are at the absolute, moment of truth. Number 2.
Our truth.
John Cena, 3,941.596 points, 164 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 2015, Match of the Year 2011. John Cena, widely sort of vilified his entire career for not being a good wrestler, is number 2 in terms of match quality in the history of WWE.
Well, Punk has said, hasn't he? He's his favourite opponent he's ever had because of what he could do that people just don't really understand. So fair play, John. Big match, John.
I mean, the thing is that the whole love him or hate him thing was very tiresome, but did lead to huge big match feel in again and again and again. Take like things like a match against Rob Van Dam in One Night Stand, like massive, just because everyone hates John Cena. CM Punk, Money in the Bank 2011. That it's the crowd because they're so viscerally against him. It made him. So I think we all know who number 1 is. Shawn Michaels, and not a little bit. So look at the point difference: 3,941 to 4,536.
With less matches.
With less matches, 156 matches. Wrestler of the Year in 96 and 2007. A weird couple of years that is. Match of the Year 89, 95, 96, 2004, 2005, 2008, 2009, 2010. I mean, hard to argue. I know Stephen will hate it, but
I was just going to say that
Michaels is your winner, and that is the full list. In fact, I didn't have the matches of the year on the slideshow, which is disappointing.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
I wonder what the match at 89 would have been.
Probably something with the Rockers, I assume.
Yeah, I reckon it was the Rockers versus the Killer Bees. That's my guess.
Oh, that's a big shout.
When was the one with the Hart Foundation? Was that a bit later? That wasn't it? The one that they won the titles, but it weren't counted.
Yeah, but I don't think it was ever televised though, so I can't.
Oh, right, yeah. I've seen it. It's on one of the many DVDs that I've got, but it must have been some sort of house show or something.
Here you go then. Quickly before we go anywhere else, I've just found the spreadsheet. So 1989, it was Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard versus Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
All right, okay.
That 2012 match was Dino Bryan, Kane and Ryback versus The Shield.
Nice.
And yeah, that's the full list. From 85 onwards, obviously I didn't go back further than that because there aren't enough matches really to create a Wrestler of the Year. So anyway, there it is. All the best wrestlers in the history of WWE. And I said we'll probably update it for next year.
Interestingly, I must have missed them when I had to pop out. Hogan?
Yeah, Hogan was 51.
51. Ironically, Kofi Kingston beat him as well, 50.
Yes.
So that concludes today's episode. Thank you very much for sticking with us if you've managed to do it. And thank you very much to Old Man and Alex Rockstar.
I'm going to say great effort that, Ben. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo that. Hopefully there is a video. Some of the pictures are sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we do put the video up and you've listened all this way, I still encourage you to go back and watch the video just for those pictures.
And then go back and re-listen and do that loop forever.
Yeah, so for as long as you can. Yeah. This has been the Random Wrestling Review for another week. We'll be back again next Sunday when we'll have something for you. Don't know what it will be because I don't know when this is going to come out. But until then, take care.